And I mean everything. The leaked footage, Trump's rejection, his lawyer feeling betrayed, and get this, his family is literally running away to South Africa. This is Bad Boy Weekly, episode 3. And trust me, Diddy never saw any of this coming.
Diddy's whole world just shattered this week.
By the end of this video, you're going to understand why Diddy's own cheapness is literally the reason he's still sitting in a jail cell right now. So let's get into it. Alright, before we jump into this craziness, let me be clear that I'm not going to cover who is Diddy and what he did, as most of the people already know that by now. So let's cover only what you clicked for.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Bad Boy Weekly, episode 3, where we break down everything that went down with Diddy this past week. And let me tell you, this one has been absolutely insane. We're talking about the 50 Cent documentary disaster that exposed everything Diddy was trying to hide. We're covering Trump's pardon rejection and the hilarious reason behind it. Did Mike Tyson just drop a confession about delivering Diddy's letter? Plus, we're diving into the strict release conditions that were revealed and the shocking news about his family moving away from all this mess.
Overnight, lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs trying to stop the release of a Netflix docuseries due out today.
We have to find somebody that'll work with us that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business.
The series contains never-before-seen footage of Combs debating strategy with his lawyers in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last year.
I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution.
So, let's start with the biggest bombshell of the week. As we all know, the 50 Cent documentary that just dropped and destroyed everything is now leaving Diddy in even more trouble.
Now, I know what you're thinking. You already knew it, right? Well, according to some new sources, some footages that 50 obtained were too controversial to be on his Netflix documentary. It means now 50 Cent is in possession of a newer evidence that could land Diddy in even more trouble. And this is the thing that is eating Diddy up in prison.
Curtis, people know about this very public, long-standing feud that you've had with Sean Combs. So what brought you to this project?
Well,
was there anything that surprised you when you were watching the footage? No,
that didn't surprise me at all.
How did you go about getting the footage? And do you know the intent of the videographer? Why?
When you're a reality star, you're so used to being able, you have a camera around you all the time, but when you have that kind of power and everything, I'm going to edit this.
And do you think that hip-hop culture was on trial as much as Sean Combs was?
Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as the hip-hop is fine with his behaviors.
This morning, never-before-seen footage of Sean Diddy Combs in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last September.
You want to put stuff in my fanny pack, King?
The exclusive video obtained by Netflix shows Combs debating with his lawyers about strategy.
Listen to me. I'm going to get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what nobody said. Let's just, here and there, y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
The footage is part of a new, highly anticipated docuseries by director Alex Stapleton and rapper and executive producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, titled Sean Combs, The Reckoning.
Remember when I said Diddy hired a videographer? Well, after his accounts were frozen, he couldn't pay the crew, not a single dollar. So the unpaid videographer sold the raw footage to 50 Cent. 50 turned around and dropped it on Netflix as his own documentary. And here's the crazy part. Nothing was edited out. Every bad moment, every ugly detail that would normally get cut, was left in for the world to see.
Diddy really screwed up, and I'm not referring to his criminal trial, which has him sitting in prison right now, but it has to do with something that happened right before he got arrested. If you've seen the Netflix documentary about Diddy, Diddy The Reckoning, which 50 Cent produced, there's some footage there that had never been seen before. This is a photographer that Diddy hired to follow him around and document his life. That footage ended up going to 50 Cent and his production company, and it's kind of the centerpiece.
Sold to them.
Yes, was the centerpiece of the documentary.
Obviously, Diddy's team lost their minds. They fought back, claiming the footage was stolen, and his spokesperson said Netflix was using unauthorized material. They tried everything to get it taken down, but 50 Cent didn't back down. He made it crystal clear the videos were acquired legally. There was literally nothing Diddy could do. Imagine your own footage being used against you and being completely powerless to stop it. And now it gets even crazier.
Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up. From what I read, I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. You know, it's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well because of what we're doing. So it's not a popularity contest. So I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me.
He was actually found guilty of. So take a look. It was racketeering conspiracy, not guilty. Sex trafficking, 2 counts, not guilty. But transportation to engage in prostitution, 2 counts, he was found guilty. Now, of course, there was damaging reputational evidence throughout the trial, including domestic violence and the tales about the freak-offs and all that. Is it true, in your view, what his lawyers are arguing, that the sentence of 4 years in prison was too much?
Does the punishment fit the crime? I think that's going to be key. So when we look at this case, we have to think about what exactly Diddy was found guilty of. He was found guilty of transportation across state lines in order to engage in prostitution. Now, the prosecution was asking for at least 11 years in prison. However, Diddy wanted him to be released right away. So when we look at the actual charges, we have to remember that Diddy now is serving 50 months in jail. And so a lot of people believe that that in fact is fair, while Diddy is arguing that that is in fact excessive.
The documentary showed Diddy complaining to his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, saying they were losing the case and demanding more effort. The twist? They weren't losing. Mark had already won parts of it, and he didn't even know he was being recorded. Imagine your client secretly recording a private conversation, and then the world hears it. People say Mark must feel betrayed, and I don't blame him. He saved Diddy from a possible life sentence, and this is how Diddy repays him. Now, on to the hilarious pardon situation.
What else are we learning about the conditions of Sean Combs' release? And is this all pretty par for the course, pretty standard?
Yeah, so look, a lot of these conditions sound pretty harsh, but they're pretty standard. Things, as you mentioned, like no contact with victims, also no contact with other criminals, no access to firearms, also unsupervised, or visits, drop-in visits from probation officers at any time, mandatory employment. So many of these are standard. But what I do think is notable is the addition of required treatment programs. And it's not just one, right? It is domestic violence, but also drug abuse and also mental health. The reason why it's so notable is because we all remember the defense described this as a modern love story. And even though Combs was acquitted of the most egregious charges, it's really a message from the court saying there's really still something that is not right here. There's treatment that is required. There's issues that need to be resolved.
Can you tell us a little bit about his living conditions? Because I know that he's currently in Brooklyn, but he's actually asked to be moved to a federal facility. Why? What would that do to his living conditions?
Okay, so very specifically, he's requesting to be moved to Fort Dix, to a low-security prison.
Diddy requested a presidential pardon from Trump, but it was flat out denied. Trump said he has to face the consequences. Originally facing 11 years, Diddy got lucky with 4, yet he still thinks he deserves freedom. The twist? Mike Tyson revealed he personally delivered Diddy's pardon letter. Diddy tried to cut corners, skipping the expensive lobbyists who actually influenced the process, thinking a letter would be enough. Trump saw right through it. Meanwhile, Diddy's history of not paying people is catching up. His videographer sold footage to 50 Cent, and Cassie sued him, forcing a $20 million settlement. His cheapness and shortcuts are now backfiring hard. Next up, what awaits Diddy when he gets out, and it's not pretty.
Where Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa.
Moving away from the country or within the country?
Yeah, Africa. I am moving to Africa.
Is this due to pressure or?
Pressure from...
I mean, you know, the whole drama.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, that would piss me off. I'm pissed off,
like,
man.
I'm
pissed off, man.
I don't care about all that. I always wanted to spend some time in Africa.
Oh, for real? So where? Nigeria, Ghana?
Yeah, probably South Africa. Better living condition, better housing, overall safer to live than others.
Nigeria is great too. I got a couple of great properties in Nigeria.
After his 50-month sentence, Diddy won't be truly free. He must complete a domestic violence program, avoid contact with victims, stay weapon-free, attend mental health treatment, and live in an approved location. The federal government will monitor all his income. He can't spend over $600 without approval, and every bank account and transfer will be watched. Diddy, used to luxury and freedom, could struggle with parole, and some think he might even try to flee the country. Meanwhile, he's liquidating assets, selling his private jet, and facing extreme financial strain to fund appeals, possibly planning to properly buy a pardon if his appeals fail. On top of it all, his own family is starting to distance themselves. Diddy's family is distancing themselves from all the drama, reportedly moving to South Africa, led by his son, King Combs. While Diddy fights for freedom, his family is trying to escape the mess he created. At the same time, there's a Jay-Z legal battle connected to all this. Roc Nation is clashing with lawyer Tony Busby after a Mississippi lawyer allegedly exposed confidential client info, possibly working with Jay-Z to attack Busby from the inside. Busby, however, is standing strong, and previous defamation claims against him were dismissed. Meanwhile, the Jane Doe case is still being appealed, delaying any payout to Jay-Z. That wraps Bad Boy Weekly Episode 3. What do you think? Will Diddy survive parole? Will his family ever return? Drop your thoughts and make sure to subscribe for updates. Episode 4 drops next week.